Man City 1, Brentford 0. The Premier League title race is on. This Man City side are back and purring and looking unbelievably confident. One of the most dominating performances City have had in many, many years. One of the best performances, and Erling Haaland absolutely outstanding. This Premier League title race is wide open. I said from the start of the season, it would be Arsenal, it would be Liverpool, it would be Manchester City, all going for it in March, in April, in May. And this City side are beginning to tick. Unbelievable quality in midfield. The fullbacks are beginning to really, really work. Nico O'Reilly, Mateus Nunes, superb. The keeper, fantastic. And then you got to talk about Erling Haaland. We're going to break down all the big performances, all the big moments in the game, and of course, the Erling Haaland goal yet again. Make sure you subscribe, and if you want some more match analysis, make sure you leave a comment down below on the video. We have to start off in the first 10 minutes. It was the kind of performance that City did in the Centurion season, getting 100 points in the Premier League. That takes a lot of performances like what we saw against Brentford today, dominating possession, moving it side to side, and absolutely bullying Brentford with the ball. I have to say, this City side are looking a lot more confident. Even the draw against Monaco, very frustrating, but I'm seeing a lot of top-level performances. Gvardiol in particular has been absolutely superb in recent weeks. He's in his natural centre-back position. He came there last season, at the back end of last season, from left-back. That's where he wants to be. And from centre-back, on his left foot, he can play a ball like no one else. He's very, very good, Gvardiol, from the back in terms of playing things over the top. And Erling Haaland absolutely loves that long ball over the top. He was ruffling up Ayer today, Van der Berg, Collins. They had three centre-backs. It felt like Erling Haaland was completely dominating three centre-backs at once. Men against boys. Erling Haaland wanted it more. And dare I say it, Premier League centre-backs get so much protection in the modern game from referees, from VAR, and also what managers are expecting them to do. Not many of them are being taught to be Tony Adams. They're being taught to be more like Rodri. They're being taught to be distributors and leaders off the ball, as opposed to John Terry sliding in and smashing people at full pace. So when Erling Haaland arrives at Brentford and he has this element of physicality, this element of trying to brutalise centre-backs, you almost see centre-backs like not understanding what's going on, not being used to this kind of physicality. If they were playing 20 years ago, Blackburn and Everton and Middlesbrough would all have strikers like Viduka and Yakubu and Benjani. There'd be about 20 strikers in the league with the same physicality of Erling Haaland. Maybe not the same amount of kind of goal-scoring prowess. But now in the Premier League, there aren't that many, even with the physicality of Erling Haaland, let alone his goal-scoring ability. So when he rocks up, these centre-backs have no idea what's going on. Van der Berg got absolutely bullied today by Erling Haaland. And that ball from Gvardiol, he gets it, twists him, turns him inside and out. On some level, it's shocking defending as well. And then he smashes it so hard, Kelleher doesn't have a chance, who I'm a massive fan of Kelleher. Great keeper. But Erling Haaland makes it whatever number you want it to be. There are so many different statistics for Erling Haaland. Every single week he scores 18 in the last 11. 18 goals in the last 11. It's staggering. The big one today was that he's now scored in 96% of stadiums that he's ever played in English football, I think it is, or the Premier League. So we're basically saying he will guarantee you a goal every single game. And that is the kind of firepower that we're not seeing with Mohamed Salah at Liverpool. I think Arsenal got great firepower. Declan Rice can get you a goal. Saka, they don't have a number 9 in the same way. Gyökeres is a decent player at the moment. He's not hitting the heights of a world-class level of form. If Arsenal had a Harry Kane, for example, or a Lewandowski or an Mbappe, like the likes of Bayern Munich and Real Madrid have, then it'd be a different narrative. But I think City have got a trump card in that department with easy goals from Erling Haaland. He makes it look easy. And that's why I think the title race is so open. I really, really do. Brentford in the first half, they registered the first half of football in their entire history since coming to the Premier League of not touching the ball in the opposition box. So that is the level of domination that Manchester City used to have with Fernandinho, De Bruyne, David Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, company in the Centurion season. And it's getting back to that kind of level. In terms of the midfield today, Rodri is absolutely superb, knocking the ball around. He picks up a hamstring injury, and it feels like the international break couldn't come soon enough for Rodri. There's been a few niggles in recent weeks. Surprised he even started today, to be honest, because you could argue Nico Gonzalez is in such great form. Brentford away, I don't rate Brentford, really. They've not been that good. I think you can rotate Rodri for Nico now and preserve Rodri and get him back up to 100% sharpness and treat him with the utmost care. I think the City staff do that, by the way. They obviously thought Rodri was fit enough to play against Brentford. He's picked up a hamstring injury. That's, 4 weeks, 3 weeks? It's not too bad. Nico Gonzalez came on, was absolutely superb. And that is the beauty of the transfer policy at Manchester City. And you couple that with Guardiola, because Guardiola was very rough to Nico Gonzalez when he first came in. Guardiola took him in and out the side. There was a period where you didn't even see him really at all feature, even coming off the bench. And it's the classic Guardiola kind of, he gives you the cold shoulder, and then you got to prove to him, not that you're a £50 million signing, that you're even worth being involved with as a player. He kind of strips you back to the fundamentals. It's almost like a Sunday league player. Do you deserve to be playing for my side? Let alone the price tag that comes with you, let alone the salary. And Nico Gonzalez has had to prove himself in a big, big way. There are other players that have had to do it as well. Savinho started today, where Doku's been having that kind of left-hand side to himself for the last few weeks. Savinho has had to prove to himself, obviously signed a brand new contract, and to Guardiola, that he wants to stake a claim. I think the right-hand side is controlled now by Oscar Bob and Bernardo Silva as a rotation. But the left-hand side for me, Savinho's a different kind of footballer to Doku. He's going to come inside a little bit more. He's going to offer you a little bit more control, losing the ball less. I prefer Savinho to Doku. I always have done. And ultimately, you have to say that Guardiola, with a lot of these young players, again, Nico's one of them, he puts an arm around them, then he gives them the cold shoulder, then he brings them back into the fold. And it's this push and pull tactic where these players are arriving into the 11 and they're elevating their game because they don't want to get kicked out again. They don't want the Guardiola cold shoulder. They want to be left in the squad. They want to be able to flourish. And Nico Gonzalez and Savinho had a really, really strong game today. What can I say about Brentford? Henderson was actually decent today. He was smashing into Phil Foden a few times, didn't like that. But the ball around the corner that Henderson used to play for Liverpool into someone like Sadio Mane or Andy Robertson just wasn't on for Brentford today. Brentford in the second half, it was on, and it was a good ball from Henderson is what I'm saying. But the likes of Schade, Thiago weren't really at the races with Henderson's kind of thinking. In terms of first-time crosses into the box. Thiago was one-on-one with the keeper, Donnarumma, in the second half. Great save from Donnarumma. Donnarumma really passes it into the City net in the 88th minute. So a touch of a concern if City get pressed late on into a game, concentration and kind of the element of passing out from the back, still a touch of a concern potentially. But still, Donnarumma, another clean sheet. Donnarumma putting off great save after great save. I thought this is a classic Manchester City performance. It leads me to believe with the control in the midfield, the experience outside of winning the Premier League, the goals of Haaland, now a keeper keeping things far more secure defensively, that City really are in a title race in a big, big way. Everton coming up, Villa coming up, Bournemouth coming up in the league, and then Liverpool. I think we'll know by the Liverpool game where this Manchester City side are. And I think there's more than enough quality there to say City are in a title race. Nico O'Reilly, by the way, today, booked by the referee for illegal throw-in. Darren England, the worst referee in the country, no doubt. But Nico O'Reilly, absolutely superb today as well. So the left-hand side is kind of controlled by him. Gvardiol, Diaz, that's a beautiful relationship. I think there are patterns of play forming, even with Phil Foden as well, where there's 7 or 8 now settled in this City's strongest 11. A few tweaks here and there, and this City side could kick onto a whole different gear. Very, very exciting times. Brentford, what can you say? 1-0 loss to a prime City side, getting back to a very, very high level. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave your comments down below.